Boy, this has been like a family reunion in this room today, huh? It is great to be with you this afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to join you here for your second annual State of Education Luncheon, hosted by the Foundation for Fairfax County Public Schools. I loved the theme that you've got here today, building the workforce of the future. Did you decide on that before or after the Amazon news? Yeah, oh, that's why they're here. I couldn't agree with you more. They couldn't have made a better choice. I can tell you that as well.
So we have to give it up for Leon Harris, the voice of God. I've had the privilege of working with a lot of events with Leon, and what a beautiful voice. And I just recently learned that he is a Cleveland Browns fan. And I say that with great respect and humility, because as a Redskins fan, misery loves company.
We're in the same boat, baby.
We're in the same boat, although I think the Cleveland Browns are a little closer to a Super Bowl. I want to give kudos to a number of folks, and I'll be very quick about that, but I'm going to ask for our superintendent, Dr. Scott Brabrand, to stand up. Scott, please stand up. You will hear Scott in a few moments, but I just want to say that as a civilian working on behalf of the foundation, when I see energy, charisma, inspiration, and just leadership, it is inspiring. So Scott, on behalf of the board, everybody in this room, we're so grateful for your efforts. Thank you. You also hear one of our newest leaders in our midst, and that's Dr. Stephen Jones with his wonderful wife, Catherine. And they're from Cleveland, and yes, they're also Cleveland Brown fans, so we can commiserate. It is great to see a wonderful couple, and you know, for Dr. Jones, he jumps right in. So please introduce yourself to Dr. Jones, but also to Catherine, because we want to welcome her to this wonderful community. It has so much to offer, and we're most proud of this school system, and you'll hear a lot about that. So Dr. Jones and Catherine, thank you for being here. Every organization requires leadership, and we are blessed with the foundation to have the power of two that work like the power of 200. And I'm going to ask Elizabeth Murphy and Amy Verdon to please stand up, and a round of applause. So for the foundation, people have asked me, tell me a little bit about it. Well, it's a standalone 501c3. It works in conjunction with the school system, with the great leadership of Scott and the school board. But it really is the bridge where the rubber hits the road between the business community and the school system for students, teachers, administrations, and facilities. And today's program, you will hear a lot about the grant program. We stood this up under the leadership of Scott Brabrand last year, and we gave 28 grants to teachers and students throughout our school system for a total of $45,000. Well, because of your support, your generosity, we will double that program. And where that grant program is key, it allows for innovation, creativity, and the ability to inspire young minds, middle school and high school, and teachers working collaboratively together. One example is the Innovation Lab at Chantilly High School. Chantilly, because of a funder that we introduced, we've created a $100,000 Innovation Lab. And yes, we've heard the A word, Amazon, but you know what? We were already awesome, you know, and Amazon's going to get to enjoy that. And the school system, whether or not it's Arlington or Fairfax, whether or not it's our friends from Northern Virginia Community College, George Mason, Virginia Tech, Virginia, so on and so forth, we're all in an ecosystem of working together. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of this foundation is to help our schools, help our students, and help our teachers. And with that, it's the escalator of life. So my last applause, thank you. At this point, I'm going to ask all of the board of directors for the foundation to please get up. And I'd like to just recognize all of you with a big round of applause. It's a team effort. I see Sunil, Stewart. Where's Captain Falk? Captain Falk, nickname Special K, Lynn Forkas, Marty, and To all of you, guys, great job. This program could not be brought to you without your leadership. Special kudos, and I'm asking a good friend to stand up. Peter Abrams, the new publisher for the Washington Business Journal. He is here to hear about the great things of the foundation. So with that, I'm going to say thank you all for being here. We're going to have a short break for lunch, but we're truly grateful, and I think you'll be inspired by the speakers you'll hear shortly. Thank you very much.
Now it is time to hear from our esteemed guest speaker. And to introduce him, would you please welcome Foundation for FCPS board member, Dr. Sunil Budrani, Chief Medical Officer, Innovation Health.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks, Leon, for that introduction. I don't quite have the voice, but if you're looking for a sub next week, let me know. It's my pleasure and honor to be here with you all today as we celebrate the important work of the Foundation and Fairfax County Public Schools. We live in a transformational time these days, and for those of us raising kids or around students, we have tremendous opportunities as well as challenges we must confront to make sure we have the right values and foundation for our students to be successful. Despite the fast-paced world we live in, no one will argue that the importance and prioritization that must be given to the areas of healthcare and education. We must strive to excel in making sure in the healthcare world our patients and members have the best and appropriate care they need, and in the educational world, our students equally get the best foundation they need to be successful. Today, I'm honored not only to be a resident and native of Northern Virginia, but also play a very important part in two areas that are very dear to me, healthcare and education. With that being said, as Fairfax County Schools has demonstrated itself as a national leader in education, so has Inova Health System proved itself as a leader in health and centers of excellence. We are very fortunate to have Dr. J. Stephen Jones, the new CEO of Inova Health System, join our Northern Virginia community. It is exciting for me as a native of the area and as a practicing physician in the community to see someone with the qualifications that Dr. Jones brings to our region. But he's here not to transform healthcare regionally, but also make its mark nationally as a premier not-for-profit health system. As its CEO, Dr. Jones oversees 5 hospitals with more than 16,000 dedicated employees and nearly 2 million patients seen annually. There's a full array of best-in-class services that many of you have probably been acquainted with, some way, shape, or form. As the area's only Level 1 trauma center, Level 4 neonatal intensive care unit, excellence at the Inova Heart and Vascular Institute and the Shah Cancer Institute, and the Center for Personalized Health occupying the former ExxonMobil headquarters, we have a tremendous opportunity in healthcare in our backyard. As for his impressive background, Dr. Jones previously served as president of Cleveland Clinic, regional hospitals, and family health centers, leading 11 hospitals and more than 20 large ambulatory care centers. Prior roles include department chair and chief of surgical operations and distinguished chair in urologic oncology. He has published over 200 peer-reviewed journals, authored a number of manuscripts, and 40 book chapters. He has presented his work on almost every inhabited continent and every major urological meeting. He's consistently listed as America's top doctors, signifying the top 1% in urology, as well as the top 1% as cancer physicians. So with that, please join me in welcoming Dr. Jones and his family here into our community.
Sunil, I can't thank you enough for that kind welcome, and I can't thank all of you enough for welcoming me into your community. I'm struck by the fact that exactly 1 year ago today, my wife Catherine and I, Catherine's in the front row there with me there, we're staying in this hotel, and I was interviewing for the job of CEO of Innova. And a few weeks earlier, a recruiter had called and had asked that one of the best healthcare jobs in America was about to come open. They were preparing a slate of candidates for that role and asked if I would be willing to be one of those candidates. And I told her, frankly, we're pretty settled. We actually love Cleveland and still love Cleveland, and that I hadn't interviewed for a job in 2 decades, almost 2 decades. That there were only a handful of places that I would even consider, even if it was the best job out there. And I actually also needed to know not only those things, but that it had the health care that we in a great organization felt that we had for ourselves as we moved into the part of life where we may need to be users of that health care as well. So I went home that afternoon and had a glass of wine with my wife on the back patio. Are you allowed to say wine at a school event, by the way? So we had a Diet Coke on the back patio. And we actually talked about where would we actually even be willing to go take a look. And both my children are in Seattle, and so we, of course, would have seriously considered that possibility. And we actually made a list, and at the very top of that list, no kidding, was Greater Washington. We had always loved the city. We believe it's one of the greatest places in the world. Never really thought that there would be an opportunity for us to pursue a profession in the city based on my own occupation. So when she called back and she told me that it was Innova, well, by that time I had pretty much committed myself to getting on an airplane and coming and staying at this hotel. And what we found, first of all, confirmed the great community that you all live in, an extraordinary staff, not just of our workers. We went through and looked, Sunil, actually 18,000 people who work at Innova, because we wanted to have the right numbers based on the purpose of this meeting. But the physician staff as well, which I would match with any that I've ever been on, and I've been on some great medical staffs in other parts of the country. And that the only thing that I think they misstated was that they said it was one of the best jobs in healthcare in America. It was the best job in healthcare in America. And I was honored to become CEO of Innova actually in early April. Now, both my parents are teachers, and education is extremely important to the Jones family. I have on the whiteboard in my office, and many of you have been in there, the saying, "Ancora imparo," which is a quote from Michelangelo, who was one of my favorite geniuses. And it means, "Yet I learn," or "I am still learning." And Michelangelo is quoted as saying that when he was 87 years old. So education is important to us. At one point in life, we lived in Missouri, and we actually had professional satisfaction, but we were dissatisfied with one aspect of where we lived, which was frankly the schools that we had available to educate children. And so when we looked at the opportunity of where we would go, we needed, first of all, to have a job for me, my family's health care, but most important to us at that stage in life was the opportunity to have great schools for our children. We moved to Shaker Heights, Ohio, which is nationally known, and we actually had some discussions. Some people in the room have actually been to Shaker Heights and have some connections there, because education is a critical part of that community, as it is of this community. Now, moving forward, both of our children called at certain points in college and said, "Thanks, Mom, thanks, Dad, for helping me prepare for college by giving me that background in education," because they recognized that they were going to college with kids that simply had not had that opportunity, that focus on education. So we very, very much focus on education. So much that, and this is both of us, that my wife Catherine actually served on the Shaker Schools Foundation, a very similar organization, and a little bit older, for 9 years. She was the president of that organization, and she is still on the advisory board, actually, which I didn't realize she was continuing that until we talked about this meeting. She stays busy. And the Jones Family Fund there actually continues to support innovative education in STEM and the arts in ways that the standard can't support that, for the innovative work that drives education forward. Now, regarding Fairfax Schools and Innova, there are some similarities that we're both here. Our missions are to serve our communities. Innova is the largest private employer. Fairfax County Public Schools, the largest public employer. Many of our 18,000 plus Innova employees send their children to Fairfax County Public Schools, obviously. And we're pleased that we have Innovation Health with Sunil and other leadership to be able to provide not only the insurance coverage, but obviously the medical care that you, your employees, and many of your students need. As a physician, I understand the importance of healthy kids. At Inova Fairfax Hospital, right across the Beltway, we deliver over 10,000 births every year, one of the largest in the country and a nationally recognized neonatal intensive care unit. As we say at Inova, we do babies, and lots of those babies end up in the school district. But we know that healthy babies are more likely to end up being healthy children, and that healthy children are better learners and have more opportunities for academic achievement. We overlap in education in many ways that don't fit to the classroom, outside the formal classroom. Studies have shown that children may spend up to an average of 7.5 hours in front of a screen every day. That's unfathomable when you think of the math that there are only 24 in any given day. As a result of that, and probably due to some catastrophic nutritional advice over the years, we know that obesity has doubled among toddlers and preschoolers, quadrupled in grade school, and tripled among teenagers. In Michigan, there was a study announced a couple of weeks ago that actually of the parents who responded to a survey, fully 1/3 of those parents intended not to give their children flu shots as the season came forward. That's a risk to the child. That's a risk to other children and the teachers, and frankly, it's a risk to our team members who are taking care of people who get the influenza. So in education, we want to go beyond the standard classroom and make sure people know things like get your flu shot, and if you're one of the third in the room who don't have it yet, please stop by somewhere on the way out later today. As CEO, I also understand the impact of health from a cost perspective. Obesity-related illnesses cost almost $200 billion every year. We're all paying for that in so many ways. And it's all our responsibility to take this on as employers, as healthcare providers, and as community members. And Inova is committed to doing so moving forward. I'm very proud of the partnership that I found here with Fairfax County Public Schools. The Partnership for Healthier Kids, the school breakfast program, high school blood drives, the Keller School when additional needs are met by members of our community, and again, the care that we provide for your students and families. Today's theme is the importance of workforce in our community, and I want to tell you that I'm so proud to see that Innovation Health is a finalist for Business Partner of the Year, and Inova Mount Vernon Hospital is a finalist for Workforce Partner of the Year. We're all fortunate to live in an area with great health care and with great education. That means that we have a highly educated, richly diverse workforce that includes those 18,000 employees, and frankly is a workforce that brought Helton to our area, that brought Northrop Grumman to our area, that brought, most recently, Amazon to our area, and frankly brought the Jones family to this area as well. And this is all due to the commitment of our leaders this is all due to a commitment of our leaders to those who live, work, and play here. And we are both proud to join you in that leadership. Let's talk about Inova's commitment to the community. First, we'll continue to be your enduring health partner. We will be the best place to work in healthcare and hopefully the best place to work in Northern Virginia. But Inova's leadership can be, in fact it is, much broader. A year ago, when I was interviewing for this role, I was told by several people when I brought the question up that we will never, ever, at least in our lifetimes, have Medicaid expansion in the state of Virginia, in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Less than 6 months later, legislation was passed, and less than that makes me really happy. Less than 6 months legislation, less than 6 weeks from now, almost 300,000 Virginians who have not had access to proper health care will have that coverage. I'm proud that we and I played a role in pushing that forward. But we also see a need for the gap population, the individuals who will frankly never qualify for Medicaid. And so the establishment of Simplicity clinics, well before I came here, allowed access to affordable care for people who still are potentially going to fall through the cracks. And we at Inova are committed to expanding access for everyone in our communities. Let's talk about change. Healthcare, in case you haven't been paying attention, is changing a lot. And we in Northern Virginia are not immune, and we at Inova are not immune. In the 7.5 months since I've been here, I've been looking at all aspects of our business and of our culture, looking for things that we need to continue, things we need to begin doing, and frankly, things that we need to change. I'll give you just a preview in this luncheon, which is first, we are clarifying our mission is that we are here to provide world-class health care. And our vision is to be one of the best health systems in America, as Sunil mentioned. It'll be the system you deserve and the system that you all will be able to be proud of. There's things that won't change. First is our commitment to excellence. This group understands grades. Well, all 5 of our hospitals in Leapfrog in the most recent rating, all 5 have the grade of A. It can't get any better than that as far as the grades go. But our focus on it will continue. And these are grades that are not popularity contests. These are based on quality and safety actual outcomes. 3 of our hospitals at Inova are rated by CMS as 5 stars, and the other are 2 stars. Sorry, the other 2 are 4 stars. Make sure you get that right if you're taking notes. That's never happened anywhere in Greater Washington to have even a single hospital be a 5-star, and 3 of our 5 hospitals are a 5-star. That means a lot to me. We'll also continue to be a good community partner and the healthcare resource that you and your family can count on. A year ago, I was here and asking, what is the opportunity here? Today, based on all of these and things that I've seen and things that we're going to talk about today, I think the question really is, how bright can our future be in Northern Virginia? Are there any limits? With this community, with these schools, with this healthcare, we have a responsibility to be the best. And we at Inova Health System are proud to be in it with all of you. And Catherine and I both thank you from the bottom of our heart for welcoming us into this wonderful community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jones. I love the way you finished up with considering all the resources that we have here. We actually have a responsibility to be the best. There's no reason why this place cannot be the envy of the rest of the world. Not just this nation, the envy of the rest of the world. This is only the most important place on the planet. It's the city of Washington, D.C. Everything that happens in the world is related somehow, some way to this city. And this region and what's happening here in Northern Virginia is such a big part of that. So we couldn't be happier or prouder to have you here and to see how you understand coming in the overlap of the missions between the educational community here and the health community and how that ties into the economic community here as well. The landscape here is set for great things to happen, and we're sure it's going to happen with you at the helm. The other good thing is that, you know, your snow shovel can finally get some cobwebs on it. Getting out of Cleveland. Let's take a moment now to talk about the Foundation's newest program, Teacher Grants. The Foundation launched these in the spring with the goal of developing the workforce of the future. More than 70 creative and innovative proposals were submitted, and 28 of them were selected for funding up to $2,500. Heard Kevin talk about that earlier. Now, the grant program supports classroom initiatives that focus on enhancing work-based learning, career exploration, or workforce readiness opportunities for students in grades K through 12. And we are so pleased today to have with us a principal from Braddock Elementary School today, because she can tell you firsthand about these grants and the difference that they can make. She is Keisha Jackson-Muir, and by the way, she was awarded Principal of the Year at the FCPS Honors, another program supported by this foundation. Yes. Please welcome Principal Jackson-Muir from Braddock Elementary to come here and tell us about the teacher grants.
Good afternoon, everyone. Braddock Elementary School is extremely pleased to be amongst you as the recipient of one of the FCPS Foundational Teacher Grants. Braddock Elementary School is a Title I school. It represents 32 countries and 29 languages. At Braddock, we believe in growing tomorrow's citizens today with passion, purpose, and possibilities. Braddock is a diverse school that serves approximately 840 students. Our demographics is as follows. We have 81% of our students who receive economic assistance. 79% of our students are English learners. 13% receive special education. And 20% of our students receive local level 4 advanced academic services in either our local level 4 academic program or in our two-way immersion Spanish advanced academic program, where students receive half day in English, which is the language arts and the social studies, half day in Spanish, which is the math and science. At Braddock, we believe in the collaborative work between our Braddock staff, our students, and our families. At Braddock, in order for our students to soar like eagles, our staff members have to create programs like our Young Scholars Academy that bring real-world experiences to our students. Here with me today are two of the finest advanced academic resource teachers in Fairfax County. I have Mary Lynn Robuski and I have Pyle Haradine, who are going to share a little bit about one of our amazing programs at Braddock Elementary School.
Thank you for the opportunity to be with you. We want you to know that this grant is going to be well used by the students at Braddock Elementary. Our Young Scholar Career Academy started as a passion project of our previous advanced academic resource teacher, who herself was a career counselor. She saw the importance of exposing students to this early on and instill an early passion to our students. The Young Scholar Career Academy uses project-based learning units focused on college and career readiness. We break it into a 16-week program, and it breaks into two parts. The first part is students research and explore and identify a career that matches their strength, their interest, and their hobbies. Students create a magazine cover that highlights the important information they learned. Next, students research colleges, universities, and trade schools that they are interested in. Students then create a poster to showcase a marketing campaign for the school that they selected. We finish with a college fair, where students showcase the school and the career to the community. Last year, we had over 500 guests visit the fair to see our students' great work. Here's Pyle Haradine to talk about how we'll be able to expand this program for this year.
This year, the grant will allow us to expand the Academy to move beyond only offering the Academy to 4th grade girls identified as young scholars to 93 invitations to 4th and 5th grade students who are identified young scholars. We were able to add 3 additional sessions for our students to come in the 16-week program to learn about college and career readiness through a project-based learning unit, and we'll be expanding to several units so that they can practice using their strengths and their individual talents to research colleges and careers that match to their interests. We plan on adding an additional field trip. Last year, our student girls went to George Mason University to tour the campus, and the tour was actually given by a former Young Scholar FCPS student. This year, we plan to add additional field trips and engage in Portrait of a Graduate attributes so that students can really, truly see what it's like to take their talents and match it up to a career. They will be creating magazine covers and then, as Mary Lynn said, engaging in a college career fair. Thank you so much for awarding this grant to our school.
Thank you so much for that, ladies, and thank you for what you're doing with those young people that in your care every single day. One of the things I love, you guys know this already, but I have to remind you, guys, especially in this room, you will forget your wife's birthday, you will forget your anniversary date, but you will never forget your favorite teacher. Right? Right? So what these grants are doing is supporting those people who are having that kind of impact on the next generation. They're going to be needing the tools to make the best of the time that they get with our kids. And I can't think of a better way to spend our dollars. And with this being Giving Tuesday, how about that? For serendipity? this is a perfect time for us to take advantage of the opportunity we have right now to support these teachers as they do this incredible work. There are donation cards on your tables, and you may have seen them in your chairs around the tables there. Take a moment and think about it. We're going to collect them as you leave here today, but we'll leave it up to you to decide what you would like to do. But when you hear about what happens and the transformative power of these special experiences these kids have, and you teachers get to see it yourselves firsthand every single day, you can see how important it is for us to just make a little extra effort to help them in that cause. Okay? Now, let's get to the part of the program that we've been eagerly awaiting, the presentation of the 2018 Partner of the Year Awards. These awards recognize the valuable contributions being made by business and nonprofit partners throughout FCPS and increase awareness of the importance of business and civic involvement in our school system. And all of today's finalists have made significant and sustained contributions to the school system, either through a relationship with a department or an individual school or schools for the purpose of furthering academic achievement and success. So I want to take a moment now to acknowledge the judging panel, first of all, for these awards. Dwight Yamada from the Foundation of Board of Directors. Where's Dwight? Yep. Oh, there he is, over there. Dr. Francisco Duran, Chief Equity Officer of FCPS. And Jim Taylor, Corporate Relations Manager at the Fairfax County Office of Public-Private Partnerships. Okay. Thank you so much for reviewing the applications. We know you had some tough decisions to make. One housekeeping note, if you are named as an award winner, please send one representative to the stage. This is not a Lifetime Achievement Award kind of situation where everybody gets to come on stage like the Oscars. At this time, I want to invite Superintendent Bray Brand and Ms. Murphy to come back to the stage to help us present these awards. To present our first award for Business Partner of the Year, please welcome Chief Equity Officer for FCPS, Dr. Francisco Duran.
Thank you, Leon. It's an honor to present the 2018 Business Partner of the Year Award. Here are this year's finalists. First, Apple Federal Credit Union and the Apple Federal Credit Union Foundation. For over 10 years, the Apple Federal Credit Union and its foundation have supported FCPS across all of our programming. They are instrumental in supporting the development and retention of new employees through our Great Beginnings Summer Institute and Teacher Induction Program, which provides mentoring for new teachers and financial support of the FCPS Honors Recognition event and our Superintendent's Leadership Conference, which is at the beginning of every year. Our second finalist, Capital One, which has hosted its after-school Capital One Coders program at the Cedar Lane Elementary School for 2 years. C1 Coders is an employee-driven 10-week program that teaches students the basics of coding. Participating students and their families are given free tablets and Chromebooks at this culminating event that Capital One sponsors. Our third finalist, Deloitte, for their well-developed mentoring program at 3 FCPS high schools. They provide a caring and responsible adult mentor to students and helping them navigate high school, applying for college, and considering opportunities for their career advancement. Since 2013, Deloitte has mentored over 200 students. Our next finalist, Innovation Health, who has helped 2 specific programs this past year. Their support has more than tripled the impact of the weekend food program at West Lawn Elementary School, ensuring that children have healthy meals when they are away from school. Through the Safe Routes to School program, Innovation Health has also supplied an additional 12 schools with bicycles, helmets, storage sheds, and safety programs to support active transportation in a school environment. And the last finalist in this category is the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 26, who has provided material support to Edison Academy to benefit the electrical construction and engineering program. IBEW provides monetary assistance as well as helping students find apprenticeship and employment opportunities with their members. Let's give all of our finalists a big round of applause for the tremendous work that they are doing to help Fairfax County schools. And in judging all of these, it was very difficult. You could see the amount of work that they have all given and the time, the effort, and the commitment to serving our students. But there is a winner. And the winner for this year is Apple Federal Credit Union and the Apple Federal Credit Union Foundation. Please come on up.
First of all, I could speak from experience how wonderful the Fairfax schools are. I had 3 kids that went through the school system, and these kids were prepared not just for college, but for life itself. And I think that's what our school system, it prepares kids for life. And that's wonderful for me as a parent, of course. Makes my job easier, right? It's wonderful for the community. And, you know, Apple, that's where we want to be. We want to partner with this institution that is doing such wonderful things for our community. So we are very grateful for this award. We're delighted. There was a lot of strong competition there, some great companies, and my hat's off to you as well. But thank you so much, and we will continue that partnership in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Apple Federal Credit Union. Now, please welcome Gracelyn McDermott, Executive Director, Account Management from Kaiser Permanente, to present our next award.
Thank you, Leon. It is my pleasure to present the 2018 Workforce Development Award. This award honors an organization that is committed to student success in a future career. The finalists are Inova Mount Vernon Hospital. Since 2016, the hospital has provided West Potomac Academy health and medical science students with information and real-life career experience in the healthcare industry in 4 core areas: career exploration, clinical observation, volunteerism, and workforce development. 4 graduates are now full-time employees at the hospital. Canine Caring Angels, for teaching students at the Fairfax Juvenile Detention Center to train service dogs to pass obedience tests. These animals are then donated through the Warrior Angels programs to veterans to help mitigate the effects of PTSD. This unique program allows this often overlooked student population the chance to make positive connections and create powerful impacts on others. Urban Alliance. Urban Alliance has been involved for 3 years in developing young workforce talent at Justice High School. Juniors are invited to participate in a year-long bi-weekly professional development training after school, and then are placed in paid internships with local companies in their senior year. In 2017 to 18, 30 juniors and 30 seniors participated in the program. The United States Geological Society, for their work with Chantilly and South Lakes High School and the STEP program for students with disabilities. Student interns work on special projects such as bird banding and digital mapping. In 2017 to 18, 17 students worked at USGS, and over the years of the partnership, 6 students out of the program have been permanently hired. And Virginia Tire and Auto, which offers paid internship program for Fairfax County Public School students who are interested in a career in the automotive workforce. The 6-week program encompasses all aspects of the auto repair business and encourages the pursuit of career and income mobility opportunities. 12 of the 25 interns have been hired into permanent positions. Congratulations to all of our nominees. This work is important to our students. And you know the drill. Only one person or in one group can get it. So the winner is the U.S. Geological Survey. Come on up.
Well, thank you. This is really a thrill. The USGS has been working with the STEP program here in Fairfax County since about 2012. And these are students with disabilities, and we like to think of them actually as a neurodiverse population. They're students who think differently, but it turns out they have skills that are incredibly valuable to a science agency. These students are preserving critical data for us through scanning, through typing in at rapid speeds and with incredible reliability, data that is on paper. We're a very old organization. We have a lot of pieces of paper lying around. But this information is much more useful to scientists when it's in a digital form. So the students are doing that. They're working on mapping projects for us. Some of them are looking at photographs that we have of wildlife in the field and identifying wildlife. Some of them are looking down microscopes at microfossils and separating them out. They're remarkably talented students, and we're very, very delighted to have them. In fact, we're so appreciative of their talents that we have modeled this same program in 4 other sites that the USGS has around the country with other school districts. So we're delighted. Thank you very much for this honor. We really appreciate it.
To present our final Partner of the Year award now, please welcome Robert Soule, Senior Vice President for Community Relations from Apple Federal Credit Union.
Congratulations. Thank you, Leon. Very much appreciated. Thank you, Leon. It's my pleasure to represent Apple Federal Credit Union by presenting the Community Partner of the Year award. And the finalists are Calvary Presbyterian Church for their Eagles Wings tutoring program, which has evolved for 29 years at Mount Eagle Elementary School. 26 students from grades 3 through 6 received weekly one-on-one sessions with community volunteers in collaboration with Mount Eagle teachers. Many of the students attending the tutoring sessions for years, and this has resulted into a positive relationship between the students and the adults. Girls on the Run of Northern Virginia, which offered its programming at more than 60 FCPS schools last year, aimed at developing leadership skills and confidence in girls through the sport of running. Last year, over 2,200 students in FCPS participated, and 330 of those students received financial aid from Girls on the Run. Teams of runners are supported by volunteer coaches who are positive role models, many of whom are FCPS teachers or parents. Grand Involve for their work in 16 FCPS Title I elementary schools. 90 senior adult volunteers work regularly in classrooms, offering their skills and talent to work directly with students and engage in a variety of helpful activities. In 2017 and 2018, they impacted more than 1,200 students on an individual and small group level. This intergenerational program has proven to boost students' self-esteem as well as enhance their academic performance. Mason and Partners Clinic, which opened an extensive site health clinic at Dunloring Central Student Registration Welcome Center. The clinic is managed by Mason faculty and supports the health-related needs of uninsured students registering in FCPS. This innovative partnership offers access to health resources for our most vulnerable student population and reduces delayed school entries and absenteeism. Real Food for Kids, whom was integral to the implementation of 15 salad bars in the elementary schools in FCPS through close work with the PTA and school administrators. Real Food for Kids also facilitated a countywide culinary challenge and wellness expo. Students from the Family and Consumer Sciences program competed to create a healthy food item to go on each of the school lunch menus. As most categories, this was especially difficult because each of these finalists were incredible in their own way. So please join me in giving them one more round of applause. And much like the other awards, there can only be one winner. And the winner of the 2018 Community Partner of the Year, drum roll please, Girls on the Run of Northern Virginia.
I just want to say thank you to everybody for this really wonderful award. And I also want to thank you all on behalf of the hundreds of volunteer coaches we have, and invite you all to cheer on all of our girls as they finish their first 5K this weekend, because strong girls run in the rain. And wish us all the best of luck as we're all together in this room raising strong, confident, and healthy girls, and all who will be contributing to Fairfax County in so many ways over the lifetime. Thank you.
You may know that I have a special segment on News 4 called Harris's Heroes, where I'm looking for people that are doing great things like that with our kids. And I actually featured Girls on the Run a couple of years ago, and seeing the difference that they make in those girls' minds and lives. So you guys do some great work. Congratulations. Now, I would like to introduce the leader of this distinguished school system, Superintendent Dr. Scott Brabrand. He began his career at FCPS as a social studies teacher at Herndon High School back in 1994. A career changer who was inspired by doing volunteer work in the schools. And over the course of his career at FCPS, he has served as an assistant principal, an associate principal, and assistant superintendent, so he's been there at every level. In 2012, he became the superintendent of Lynchburg City Schools for 5 years. And we are all delighted that he decided to return to FCPS in 2017 as our superintendent. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Superintendent Scott Brabrand.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great day to be alive in Fairfax County, isn't it? Honestly, just listening to the discussions today, for really since the nation's founding, we've been at the cross-section, the crossroads of government. With the recent announcements, we have become for this nation the crossroads for business. And for really the last generation, we have been the crossroads and the signature place for Fairfax County Schools as the leading school district, not just in the Commonwealth of Virginia, but in the country and in the world. Thank you for your support. Dr. Jones, I want to thank you for your comments today. I want to welcome you. And I have been a customer. My twin boys 15 years ago were born, and we were nervous. We were a new couple, and we had multiple trips that we had to go to before we had the successful operation, but we knew the delivery, rather, it felt like an operation with twins. We knew in Anova's care that they were going to be well taken care of. And I remember the day I became a father and just the kind of customer service that you delivered. I was so exhausted and thought, man, they gave us individual care. And I was feeling the burden of, wow, 2 kids coming into the world at once. And I walked down the rooms, and Anova had put up a do not disturb. I'm like, I wonder why a do not disturb sign is on that room. And underneath in small writing was quads born 2 hours ago. So my twins, and I was extra quiet walking past that room. But honestly, for all of you today, I appreciate your support, and you have done it through your words and actions. Support for this foundation financially is up 41% from last year. This past year, we had 42 new business partnerships. And Jay Garant, I'd like you to stand, our Director of Partnerships. Thank you for your leadership. Last year, we told this community that Fairfax County Public Schools was open for business, and you have responded. And the future of this region is the collaboration between the business community, the education community, and local and regional and state government. That is the signature opportunity that we have here to collaborate at a systems level unlike ever before. Finally, I'd ask the school board of Fairfax County to stand, please, and be recognized once again for their leadership. This board has worked to take a new superintendent and maintain its focus on excellence, equity, and effectiveness. And I'd like to just show you one quick thing over the last year, over the summer. I think we have it up for a slide that we can show, hopefully. We took the strategic plan that this board already had developed with my predecessor, and we streamlined the focus for the next 2 years. We went from 38 desired outcomes to 8. And any good business person, CEO knows you have to have a focus as you move forward, a focus that can be measured for the first time. We'll have metrics and targets over the next 2 years around our 4 major categories: student success, caring culture, premier workforce, and resource stewardship. I don't have time to regale you with all of it today. It starts with student success, what you heard Braddock Elementary say, portrait of a graduate, creating creative, critical thinkers who collaborate, who do problem-based learning, and who do not just do simple rote memorization and test taking. That era is over in the Commonwealth of Virginia and the country. The Virginia Chamber of Commerce under Barry Duvall asked businesses 2 years ago the 20 biggest attributes that they're looking for in the workforce. Only one content area was in the top 20, and it was math. Everything else was about portrait of a graduate. We need people who can come on time, who are goal-directed and resilient, who can work in teams, who can create, who can communicate, who can solve problems at a scale unprecedented before. And that's what we're doing now in every classroom. The big other part of student success is closing our access and opportunity gaps. With a division with almost 190,000 kids, many are flying high beyond anything we can imagine, but there are also gaps still in achievement that really come from gaps in access and opportunity, and we have our eye on the ball unlike ever before in that. It also begins with early childhood education. We've got to make sure every kid gets off to that right start. Our area of caring culture, a welcoming environment for all kids, and our young people making healthy life choices. We're working with the county and the student youth survey to really measure more than before. This is a great place to live, work, and play and learn, but sometimes the stress of the area even filters down to our young people. We want them to be successful, but we also want them to be satisfied and happy and what I call joyful students and enjoy the love of learning. For Premier Workforce, working with this board, we're going to a Board of Supervisors budget meeting in 2 hours, and through the leadership of the Board of Supervisors collaborating with the school board, we had our first fully funded budget in over 20 years in Fairfax County Public Schools. And there's more on the way. And the big focus in the budget has been about paying our people. The signature difference in this region that brings people, that brings businesses, has been the talent. The talent of our teachers, the talent of our principals, the talent of all of our education professionals that make up Fairfax County Public Schools. And this budget, I hope, will finish the business of making our teachers market competitive at every single step of their career, because it begins and ends with a highly qualified teacher in every Fairfax County Public Schools classroom. We also want exceptional employees, and thank you for supporting FCPS Honors. If you haven't come before, you need to come. If you haven't supported it before, you need to come. It's at George Mason every year, and it is a showcase of our best and our brightest. And folks like Keisha, who just got recognized earlier, person after person, you get to see the talent that is working with your young people every day. Finally, resource stewardship. Every business, the bottom line matters, and we know the bottom line matters to you. You are investing in our community and in our schools and our young people, and most importantly, in our future. But you too, like a business, you want good ROI. You want the return on your investment. You need to see metrics and you need to see results. And we are moving more and more toward aligning our budget in alignment with our key priorities of our strategic plan. And you'll be seeing more of that in the budget this year than ever before. And I promise you, we will continue to deliver excellence. We will continue to deliver equity for every child by name and by need. But we will also continue to deliver effectiveness to make sure that your dollars and your support are being used wisely to make sure that we have a world-class education for every child. I appreciate you being here this afternoon. Thank you for your support. We've had great times, and only greater times are ahead here in Fairfax County and for Fairfax County Public Schools. Thank you so much.
I'll tell you what I told him. He needs to can that speech and make sure that every parent in this county hears that. Every single parent needs to know that this organization here, this school system is doing some dynamic things. And Dr. Brabrand, I met you at the very first luncheon a year ago, and you were talking about these things that you wanted to accomplish, and I'm thinking, yeah, good. I cannot tell you how impressed I am with the way you've been able to hit the ground running and the dynamism with which you were driving this system here. I believe when you say that only good things and even better things lie ahead for this town. This is fantastic, and so I'm happy to see that. Thank you all for coming out here today. Please, please, please take a moment and consider those donation cards because we want to keep these good things going and going forward. So that concludes our luncheon today. Thank you for coming out here. Hope to see you again next year.